Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Eagle, U.S. Global Command 5.4. Alright. Here, of course, the U.S. is at war now, DEFCON 2. Tech. Okay, AMD has not moved at all. So 2 dice, oh no, we can't do that anymore. We got a different ability. We can't do that one. Never mind. I keep forgetting that. Then instead, we will do advanced SLBMs. Okay, there we go. AMD, advanced logistics, advanced SLBMs, long-range missiles. That is a whole lot of nothing. Nothing. Okay. That was it for tech. There's no global operations this turn, nothing to request. So I'm going to go right to military aid and purchase. And we say, oh, look at all that. Okay. For military aid, we're going to spend 8 to send NATO an attack bomber and a frigate. We're going to send Pacific Command a Marine for 4. With the +1 premium, we're sending Iran another next-gen MBT for 6. With the -1 arms sales, we're going to send South Africa a SAM for 2. And then for themselves, the Americans are spending 21 on a Marine, an A-10, a Top Gun ASF, and an amphib. And then these fellows you see here are what was left in the Expeditionary Forces box. And the Americans are building 3 cruise missiles and 1 anti-ship missile. On the Soviet turn, I forgot to do their missiles. I did it off camera. Okay, so that's aid and purchase. So there is nothing to do for strategic. And now we go to combat movement. All right, there's going to be a tad bit of combat. A tad bit. Okay, from the fleet here in I-8, we're detaching a destroyer, 2 frigates, and a fighter to go up there and attack that Soviet SSN in I-7. The SSN in I-3 combat moves up to I-4. He is shooting 2 anti-ship missiles at the Soviet fleet in the Red Sea there. Okay, then the B-52 from Diego Garcia, 1, 2, 3. He is shooting a pair of cruise missiles into Tanzania in a surgical strike. The attack bomber from the carrier is going 1, 2 over here, and it is also going to join in the surgical strike. There's no scramble possible. The Soviets have to choose between missile defense and air defense. They are going to choose missile defense because they can roll missile defense at 4, whereas air defense would only roll 1 die at 2. Okay, then, no, I even forgot to write this down. I was so busy doing other stuff. The United States is declaring war on Angola. They're attacking with 2 light infantry and a fighter. I believe that is sufficient units to meet the minimum forces requirement. So, as soon as the United States declares war on Angola, South Africa signs a military pact with the United States. So now these South African units can also join the attack. And since the United States has done that, these guys are going too to get up there. This fighter's coming in here. Since the United States has done that, Angola signs a military pact with the Soviet Union. So the orange guys are green, and the turquoise guys are very, very pale blue, I guess, is what the Soviet color is. So that's the situation there. Of course, these 2 South African destroyers also become American. I don't know that I have a mission for them right now. I don't think I do. I don't think I have a mission for them at the moment. Okay, did I mention Tehran? Or Iran is attacking Tehran with everything they have. If I didn't, now I have. Okay, over here looks rather complicated, but it really isn't, and I think we have everything in one shot. All right. Got a destroyer, frigate, and 2 SSNs up here in A24. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're coming down here to A42 to attack that Soviet SSN. Here in A33, we have a destroyer, 2 frigates, and a fighter from the supercarrier. 1, 2, 3. They are coming over here to attack the Soviet SSN and diesel boat. And of course, you know the deal. The destroyer negates the first strike of one of these. The Soviets are going to choose the diesel boat. And over here, the destroyer negates the Soviet first strike, but the 2 SSNs here do get first strike ability against the Soviet. Okay, there's that. Now we'll turn this way. Just from A33, we have these guys right here. Amphib carrying 2 Marines and an attack chopper, a cruiser battleship, ASF, and an attack bomber from the supercarrier. They're moving down there to A36 to attack Nicaragua. The Marines will come ashore in amphibious assault, supported by the attack chopper. From Honduras, 3 next-gen MBTs and an ASF are going to attack overland as well. So that is all of that. And I think that's it for combat movement. Oh, well, no, I'm not going to. I was thinking about doing an ASAT attack, or I was thinking about doing a Celestial Eagle, but I forgot to have Soviet Global do an ASAT attack against the Americans on their turn. I would have if I'd remembered it. I just slipped my mind. So to be fair, the Americans are not going to do it on their turn, We try to keep everything as fair as possible. Okay, so our first order of business is going to be the attacking A7 on the Soviet SSN. So it does not get first strike. So we have 2 frigates at 2. We've got, wrong color guys. We got a fighter at 3, 2 frigates at 2, and a destroyer at 4. Destroyer's blue, fighter's white. Everybody missed. A 3 by a frigate won't get it done. Everybody missed. Can you believe that business? Alright, so the Soviet captain is going on silent running. He knows when he's outmatched. Next, we will have 2 anti-ship missiles against the Soviet fleet in I-5. There is a cruiser and a frigate, so they get 2 AMD shots. One missile is shot down, one gets through. That is a hit. We did not declare spy satellite, but we did not declare spy satellite. We'll just leave it at that. So the Soviet fleet staff is pondering. Pondering. They are going to choose to put a damage on the cruiser. If they put a damage on the heavy aircraft cruiser, they have to give up one of their they have to give up one of their 2 flight ops. So they'll take the damage on the cruiser. Alright, that takes care of that. Next, we'll have the surgical strike in Tanzania. And you remember the Soviets chose missile defense with their SAM. So there's 2 cruise missiles inbound, 2 shots in return at 4. And they shot them both down with 3s. Good choice by the Soviets. Okay, here comes the attack bomber. Misses with an 11. The Americans are going to have to get themselves in a war mindset, because they didn't do too good. They didn't do too good at all. Where in the world? Oh, okay. Where in the world did my attack bomber go? There it is. Alright, so next up, we're going to do the Battle of Tehran. Now I better move that stuff to the board. This might not be the best idea in the world, but the Iranians don't see a lot of value in just sitting back waiting to be overwhelmed. So they're going to strike while they can. So the only first strike we have is the artillery at 1 because of mountains. That's a miss. Okay, so we've got 1 light infantry at 1 because of mountains. He misses. Get that dice out. And the Sam gets 3 shots at 1. He gets nothing. 3 mechs at 2 because of mountains. Okay, there is 1 general hit. And then the next gen MBT at 5. And there is a reactive armor land target select. That helped. That was good. For the... Oh shit. I got this backwards. Oh yeah, no, the Iranians are the attackers. Never mind. Yeah, that was good for the Iranians. Okay, so we got 2 paramilitary and an airborne defending at 2. Nothing. Got an attack chopper at 4. Nothing. We got 2 next gen MBTs. 1 general hit in defense. And 2 fighters. 1 reactive armor land target select. That hurts the Iranians. Okay, so the Iranians put their reactive armor hit on Soviet next gen MBT. The Soviets do the same in retaliation. The Soviets have to take 1 general hit that they take on a paramilitary, and the Iranians take the hit on their field artillery. Okay, the SAM goes to the box, and they don't like the odds anymore. They're going to fall back. So let me move stuff around. Okay, the Iranians pulled back into Shiraz. They wanted to do a spoiling attack, and I think that's what they did. They improved their situation slightly. Okay, now here's the Battle of Angola. Field artillery in first strike, SAM and field artillery in first strike. This field artillery will use chemical. And here we go. So field artillery just gets 1 die. Misses. So Soviets get 2 dice with the SAM because there's just 2 fighters on the U.S. side. They did get an air hit. Now that is not an air superiority hit. I don't even need that because that's a first strike hit. So we have to kill one of the attacking fighters. And then their field artillery rolls 2 dice and misses. Okay, now we go regular. So the other fighter that's on air superiority misses. 2 light infantry. Miss. 3 mechs. Miss. 2 next gen MBTs. 1 hit. 1 paltry general hit. Okay, so we have 2 early gen fighters on air superiority. They miss. There is an airborne. Gets a general hit. Now there's 2 light infantry. Miss. And 2 next-gen MBTs. They get 1 target select hit. 1 land target select. Okay, the defender applies its land target select. It can't choose a next-gen MBT, so it's going to have to go for a mech. Take that off. And then they have to take general hit, which they will take on their field artillery. And the attacker has to take a general hit, which he will take on his field artillery. And now now the Americans are going to stop and back off. The whole purpose of this attack was to get the military pact with South Africa. That mission has been accomplished, so they're going to pull back. So let me move things over. Okay, everything's put back. And I put roundels on and changed units out. So the American fighter has decided to fly back to they want to do that? Yeah, they decided to fly back to South Africa. All right, I think all that leaves us. Oh no, that's not all it leaves us. We're just moving on. So let's do Nicaragua next. I got things set up on the board, but I forgot to do something. The Soviets got 2 battle stars for the defense of Tehran and 2 more for the defense of Angola. So they've been added to their dashboard. And the Soviets and Americans each went up 1 for Angola and South Africa. Yeah. Now we're ready to go. Okay, and these guys are Soviet. I just haven't changed them out. So in first strike, we've got shore bombardment from the battleship and the cruiser. And then the Soviets will have a SAM with 3 shots and a field artillery using chemical. And there's the rest of it. I think I forgot to mention in combat movement, the 2 aircraft from Cuba flew across the Western Caribbean to get into the fight as well. They're able from Cuba, they're able to come from here, 1, 2, and get in there. All right, here we go. So 2 shore bombardments, both miss. Huh, I rolled Soviet dice, no wonder they missed. All right, so the SAM gets its 3 shots. And look at that, the SAM got 2 hits. Well, well, well. 2 hits by the SAM. The Americans don't like that one bit. And then you've got the field artillery shooting chemical. He also got a hit. That just, whew, that's going to hurt the Americans. All right, the Americans have to take 2 air hits. So they're going to have to take them on the ASFs. It's the only good choice they have. And then the Americans have to take 1 first, oh no. Get it right. Chemical first hit is disruption. So these guys go down, these guys go down. these guys go down. I remember it again. Okay, so now we're set and ready to go. So we have 2 Marines at 2 now. And they get a hit though. Good job, Marines. Now we have 2 air cabs at 4. They miss. 3 next-gen MBTs at 5. Would you believe that? They missed. Bad, bad. And attack chopper at 6. Miss. Good God. Attack bomber at 7. Also misses. Just completely awful. Inexcusable. Alright, defending for the Soviets. 2 light infantry at 4. There is 1 general hit. And an attack chopper at 4. There is another general hit. So the Americans have to take 1 casualty. They take a Marine. No, the Americans have to take 2 casualties. So they're going to have to take both Marines. Soviets take 1. They're going to put it on the field artillery. Okay, the SAM goes to the box. And they're going to try again. So 2 air cabs. Nothing. 3 next-gen MBTs. 1 land target select hit. Attack chopper. Oh, get rid of that. Attack bomber. Okay, there's a general hit by the attack bomber. Get that up there where it belongs. Still very, very poor shooting. Very poor. Okay, 2 light infantry defend. 1 general hit. And attack chopper defends for a 2nd general hit. Again, not good. Okay, the Americans put the land target select on light infantry. Clear that. The general hit. The Soviets are taking, they both defend the same, so the Soviets are going to take the attack chopper for the general hit. The Americans have to take 2 general hits. That will be on the air cabs. Alright, they're going again. 3 next-gen MBTs. 1 hit. And that's all they need. Okay. Light infantry defends for a hit. The Americans got it, but they made them pay for it. Nicaragua was an expensive little proposition. Right, let me put stuff back. Well, you know, the Americans had to do it. I mean, if they didn't take Nicaragua, they would have to garrison Central America for the rest of the game. All right, so that's going to be, I gave the Americans their battle star. They go up 1 to 49 in IPP. And now we will have the battles of A41 and A42. We'll do A41 first. The Soviet SSN will have first strike. And it misses. So now we have 2 frigates a destroyer, and a fighter. So 2s, 3, and 4. Everybody missed. The fighter, no, the fighter was him. He was the destroyer. The destroyer got 1 hit. Everybody else missed. So the Soviets going to take the hit on the diesel boat. It fires back for a miss. The SSN will go to silent run. Take the diesel boat off. He's on silent run. Okay, now in the other battle, the Soviet does not get first strike, but the Americans do have 2 first strikes. And there is the hit. The Soviet SSN is kaput. So this is going to be, he comes off. That is going to be 2 naval battle stars for the Americans, or sinking subs defending alone. So 2 more into their pile. And that's the end of combat. So non-combat. The supercarrier and its ASW chopper come down here to A36 to rejoin the fleet. The fighter flew 1, 2, 3 to get over here. It flies 4, 5 to get back to its carrier. The attack bomber from Nicaragua flies back to the carrier. The attack chopper from Nicaragua flies back to its amphib. That will be it there. Over here, the B-52 flies back to Diego Garcia. The rest of the fleet here, which is the carrier, the amphib, the cruiser, they come up here to I-7 to rejoin with those guys. I-7 to rejoin with those guys. The 2 destroyers from down here at I-1 are going 1, 2. One of them will go 3 and take up station here in I-11. The other will go 4 and take up station in I-12. That didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to, but ain't much else I can do about it. It's just the way it'll have to be. The fighter is going to land back on its carrier. Yeah. Here in was our attack bomber flies back to the carrier. Okay, here in Saudi Arabia, these two MBTs move up to northern Saudi, as well as these two mechs in the field artillery. The fighter is also going to move up. And the American A-10 is going to move up as well. Okay, there's that. Now, from over here, this B-52 is going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here to southern England. We have 2 air redeployments available. We're going to use them to move we're going to put the Top Gun ASF in South Africa. We are going to put this air superiority fighter in Macau. That guy wasn't down there. He shouldn't belong there. He was over here. This fighter from southern United States flies 5 spaces over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Extremadura. The battleship and the cruiser from A-24 will go 1, 2, 3 down here to A-36 to join the rest of the fleet for mutual protection. Because now the cruisers and the battleships provide this fleet with 4 AMD shots. Alright, I think that's it for non-combat. I think it is. So now we are placing units. So the amphib is going to be built here in Northeast United States in port. At the major shipyard, not minor shipyard, major shipyard, so he's got more missile protection. Then the Top Gun ASF and the A10 are built here in Northeast United States. The Marine is also built in Northeast United States. And then we're placing these Expeditionary Force guys. The other Marine joins his buddy there in Northeast United States. The 2 airborne, one is going to be placed here in South Africa. The other we are going to place up here at Joint U.S. Air Base in Suez. Then the paramilitaries, we're going to put one of these in South Africa and the other, where did I decide to put the other? I think the other paramilitary is going over here in Extremadura. All right, now we do a recruitment roll for Iran. Iran still has 2 land zones there. Didn't get it. Okay, so let's deliver aid. So I'm going to get a different sculpt. The SAM was purchased for South Africa as military aid, but now it is American. It still gets delivered to South Africa. So that one's done. The Next Gen MBT is delivered to Shiraz for Iran. The frigate for NATO comes here to the shipyard in I-6, so that goes on the fleet card. The attack bomber goes into Rhineland, delivered to the air base, so that goes here on this card. And then the final thing to deliver is the Marine to Pacific Command. So of course that goes overland from eastern United States to, or from, say from Gulf Coast, goes overland to West Coast. Okay, that's that. Now we are collecting money. The Americans are at 49 base. Let's see, do they get any extras? Nope, doesn't look like it to me. Nope, no extras, so 49. $49 and 3 battle stars. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.